I was going to introduce you as my sidekick just to see the look on your face. I may start doing that just to piss you off as much as long as I'm in a different state than you. Why not try to piss you off as much as I can? Welcome to the Tradier Rundown. I am Jim Uriel, the obvious star of the show, and that's my sidekick, Bob Iacchino, who's in Florida
I'm just gonna tell you ahead of time. If you start introducing me as a sidekick, it won't piss me off because it's so ridiculous.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Anyway, welcome to the Tradier Rundown. We together are the co-hosts of Tradier's The Trader's Edge, which airs live at 3 o'clock Chicago time. What, did I say something wrong or no?
I'm just still laughing. I'm gonna play the role of sidekick from here on out.
He's gonna be from Robin to my Batman.
Is anyone young enough to remember Johnny Carson that watches this? I'm just do the Ed McMahon.
Nobody but us remembers Johnny. By the way, I watch Johnny every night. He was fabulous.
He was great. He was great.
Okay, in all seriousness, we are supposed to be talking. Oh, did I say about we're the host of the Trader's Edge? That's at 3 o'clock live Chicago time on the Tradier Hub. Please join us. We are today talking about apparently there is a change in the administration that's coming in 12 days. I read all the papers. I don't know. I was too busy reading about us potentially invading Canada, which I have my helmet, my gun. I'm ready to go. Are you going to invade Canada too, Bobby, or no?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll do it. It sounds like the easiest invasion ever.
Eric Swalwell, the senator, posted that now he's going to ask our young men to die fighting in Canada. And I'm like, what now?
It's all so ridiculous. I mean, it again goes to, and we are supposed to be talking a little bit about the incoming administration. So I'm not bothered by this. It is really, to our friend James Fishback, friend of both of ours, friend of all our shows, said, take Trump seriously, not literally. And if you looked at the way the question was answered about Greenland and Panama, in terms of ruling out the military for invading, they didn't even say that. A reporter asked the question, are you ruling out military pressure or economic pressure to get these things done you want done with Greenland and the Panama Canal? And if you read his book, and even if you didn't, Donald Trump for years has been saying you never take an option off the table before you get to the table.
Of course.
It's the most ridiculous thing to make that a story.
That's absurd. Okay, now
Hakeem Jeffries, just real quick, Hakeem Jeffries said on X, he said, Democrats are focused on reducing the cost of goods to consumers, not invading Greenland. It's like, where the hell have you been?
And why are you, if you were concerned about it, why would your party have consciously, explicitly, and intentionally driven up prices over the last 4 years? We can debate that all day. I'm not talking to you, Bobby. I know you're on the same side as me. That was an intentional policy, and anyone who takes the other side of that debate will lose in a fiery crash. Anyway, let's name a few assets that could be affected by a new Trump Trump presidency. Let's go with oil first off. What do you got?
I think oil early on, there's going to be this sort of economic stimulus that drives oil higher. We're seeing a little bit of it now, although I do expect a small pullback. And then I think it's actually going to pull back a little bit as oil's supply and demand settles in again. It's not going to be overnight that more supply starts to come to market. So I think oil is mostly upside in the short to medium term.
So by the way, like if you look at global yields, not just U.S. yields, they've all gone through the roof. What the hell are they pricing in? A resurgence of inflation or an economic boom?
Well, I'll give an example. UK inflation, right? September, 1.7%. October, 2.4%, November, 2.8%, I believe. I don't think that's incorrect. But essentially, their inflation has crept up and crept up and crept up while the Bank of England looks toward cutting rates again. Similar thing happening, I believe, in the US and happening globally, because there is a little bit of this sort of animal spirits and growth coming in with this administration. I truly believe that.
So what other assets? What about, I've been speaking about platinum and palladium. We've begun their move because I believe that EVs are yesterday's news. Internal combustion engine are back center stage. Do you like that trade still?
Yeah, that was your main presentation when you spoke at the New Orleans Investment Conference. I think it was well received. I watched it from afar. They don't ask me to come there because they know that I will absolutely destroy New Orleans. But no, I thought it was a good thesis, and I still believe it's the right thesis. I think ICE, internal combustion engines, are going to retake the chatter in the automotive industry, and so the metals market's going to respond to that.
And how will gold do in a Trump presidency?
Interesting. I think there is going to be a resurgence of inflation. And until the Fed turns around and starts to fight that inflation, I mentioned this a million times. You know this from your experience as well as from me mentioning it over and over again. Gold is only an inflation hedge if the Fed is not fighting that inflation.
Bingo.
If the Fed is fighting that inflation, then gold's not an inflation hedge. So you're looking at the early stages of inflation, giving gold a bid, which I think is going to happen.
Last question, and you can be a short answer. Do you think the Fed wants 2% inflation or really secretly wants 2.6 to 2.8% inflation?
You're asking me for a short answer, so I'll turn it back to you because I'm not capable.
Yeah, okay, then I'll give a short answer. They are perfectly comfortable with 2.6 to 2.8%, is my opinion, despite the fact that they've said the opposite. This is Trade Year Rundown. I am Jim Muriel. That's Bob Iacchino. Please join us on our show, The Trader's Edge, live 3 p.m. Wednesday, Chicago time on the Trade Year Hub. It has been a rousing success so far, not because of us, because of you people, and because of all the stupid things legacy media does that drive people to platforms like this where they get honest opinions. So please join us. I'm Jim Muriel. That's Bob Iacchino.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.